All right, so picking up from where we left off, going on to the next example here. Now you'll see the examples now, we don't have graphs anymore. So what we want you to be able to do is just look at information given and identify our information. So I'm going to do it off to the side as practice. So apparently this is EAMPL for any of the people that like English in here. So, whoops, what happened there? All right, so this should say example, so there should be an X there. But anyway, the meal deal at Chicken Deluxe costs $26 plus an extra $1.50 for every piece of extra chicken you added to the bucket. So we need to pick out our information. Now, anytime you see the word per or for every or for each, it indicates a unit rate or a rate of change. So that means for this question, $26 is what you're going to have to pay no matter what. So that's our initial value. And then it says $1.50 for every piece. So that means our rate of change, or unit rate, is $1.50 per piece. So we can take that information and find our equation. Because our equation is y equals the rate of change times x plus the initial value, which means our equation would be y equals 1.5x plus 26. So this is the equation that the store is using for a cost of a bucket of chicken. So B part, how much would it cost if you got 8 extra pieces? So again, you need to think about what do the pieces represent? Are they our x values or y values? So pieces is additional. So again, it is our x value. All right, so we are given an x value because our cost is the y value. All right, also it was $1.50 per piece. So we need to multiply that 1.5 times 8, and that will happen in our equation here. Y equals 1.5, so $1.50 for every piece. Well, I'm buying 8 pieces plus 26. And we can plug that into our equation, 1.5 times 8 plus our 26. So $38 will be the cost. All right? So the meal deal for 8 extra pieces will be $38 for 8 extra pieces. How many extra pieces could you order if you had $50 to spend on supper? So, Mom or Dad sends you to the store, you have $50 in your pocket. Remember, money is our y value. So we are giving you one of the variables. So we go back to our equation, 1.5x plus 26. Our y value is 50, so I'm going to replace the y value with 50. And again, this is why we review or work on solving or doing algebra, is so that you can solve for x. We don't want this to be trial and error. So again, you want to isolate the x term. So we subtract 26 from both sides. So that leaves me with 24 equals 1.5x. Now we want to isolate the x term. So we divide both sides by 1.5. So that means that 24 divided by 1.5 means that you can get 16 extra pieces. So therefore, for $50, you can get 16 extra pieces. All right. So we're at this stage now where I want you to be able to pull information directly out of the word problem, create an equation with just that information, and then go ahead and solve using your algebra skills. Okay? In the first example, I want you to be able to do it from either a graph, table of values, or the information given. But in number 1, we can see that we really didn't need the table of values. We didn't need the graph at all because all the information was provided right there for us. So you don't need those forms if they're not there. Okay? Final example. So Emily has $95 in the piggy bank at home. Each day, she took out $3 and didn't put anything back in. All right? So what are we starting with? So your initial value is your starting amount. So our initial value is the $95. Now the rate of change, you got to be very careful here. The rate of change, she took out. What does took out use? Or what does took out mean? Okay, I can't see your hands, so there's no sense putting your hands up, people. Come on, this is a video. Took out means negative. This is a negative relationship. The unit rate is going down. So it is negative $3 per day. And that negative is important because when we go to the equation, so determine an equation using R for the amount of money in there. So what they want us to do is R equals, and you know what? On a test, if you use Y and X, we don't care. In the end, it's the same thing. But they want R for the money, D for the number of days. So when we go to substitute this in, the money in the piggy bank is negative 3D. Negative 3D because the money's going down each day plus our initial value of 95. So there is our equation. Again, if you use Y and X, that's not a big deal. We're not going to be too upset. B part, how much will she have after 12 days? So what is days? Days stands for, or is represented by the D. So we've been given the D value. So R equals negative 3 times 12 plus 95. So we are figuring that out. So negative 3 times the 12 plus 95, we have $59 remaining. So therefore, after 12 days, $59 remain. How long before she only has $41 left? So in this case, they've given us a Y value, or in this case, the R value. So it's a money. So our equation would look like 41 equals negative 3, don't forget the negative, plus 95. Again, you have the skills to solve this. So we're going to isolate the D term. So minus 95 from both sides. All right, so 41 minus the 95 is negative 54 equals negative 3D, and there's not enough room. To get the D by itself, be careful, you need to divide by the number in front. So you're going to divide by negative 3, finishing it up here. We find that we have 18 as our answer. So therefore, after, D stands for days, after 18 days, $41 remain. So the final question is, how long will it take before her piggy bank is empty? So there's an inference here. How much money is represented by empty? So that means that R, the amount is, again, no hands please, it's a video. I can tell you the answer, it's a video. We want to know when it will be 0. So how do we solve this? So we know the equation is R equals negative 3D plus 95. We just said R is going to be 0, negative 3D plus 95. Same skills as above. We're going to get the 3D by itself. So we subtract 95 from both sides. So negative 95 equals negative 3D. Divide both sides by negative 3. And we find out 3 is 31.7 days. So it's a decimal. So what does that mean? It means that 3 doesn't go into 95 evenly. So even if she doesn't take out 3 every day, we can say, therefore, after 32 days, so that's 1 month, no money will remain. No money will remain. All right. So now we're bringing in a combination of our algebra skills with our direct partial variation, rate of change, initial value. Everything's coming together, and that's what you can expect on the EQAO assessment. So we're preparing you for these types of questions, but you have all the skills set in order to solve these. So at this point, I'm going to let you go off and try some of the worksheets, some of the homework. If you have any questions, make sure you ask, and we'll give you a hand. Good luck, and we'll see you in the next lesson.